Everybody knows Argentina, the great football nation. They won the World Cup, they produced legends. But what most people don't know is that for over a decade, Argentina was a joke. A country that demanded greatness but delivered heartbreak. 2014, the World Cup final. Higuain, one-on-one with destiny. He misses. Germany punishes them. Dream shattered. 2015, the Copa America final. A war of nerves. 120 minutes of battle. The cruelest fate of all. Penalty shootout. Heartbreak. Again. 2016, the same script, the same nightmare. Another final, another shootout. Messi, the greatest player in the world, is on his knees, broken, defeated, done. Messi walks away from the national team.
Como dije recién, son 4 finales, no es para mí. Lamentablemente lo busqué, era lo que más deseaba.
But something pulls him back. He can't let it end like this. Fast forward to 2018, the World Cup in Russia, a complete disaster. Humiliation. Argentina barely survives the group stage. Then against France, they collapse. Mbappe runs through them like a video game. A team lost in chaos. No tactics, no defense, no future. Argentina had hit rock bottom. It needed a revolution. And that revolution came from the most unlikely man. A no-name coach, no senior experience, a man no one believed in. But in just 4 years, he transformed Argentina into an unstoppable force. 3 trophies in a row, a 36-game unbeaten run, and the ultimate prize, a World Cup victory that would go down in history. This is the story of how Lionel Scaloni revived Argentina. Argentina was lost. The World Cup in Russia had exposed everything wrong with the national team. The golden generation that made it to 3 finals in a row had faded, and the team that once inspired fear was now a shadow of its former self. The nation needed a leader, someone who could restore discipline, fix the broken system, and prepare Argentina for the biggest prize in football. Fans expected a world-class coach, an experienced manager with a proven track record. Instead, they got Lionel Scaloni. A former assistant coach, no major trophies, no senior managerial experience, he was given the job as an interim solution, a temporary fix while Argentina searched for a real manager. But what no one realized at the time was that Scaloni was not there to be a placeholder. He was there to rewrite history. Unlike his predecessors, Scaloni refused to rely on outdated tactics or force the team to revolve around one superstar. He focused on structure, balance, and adaptability. His first task was fixing Argentina's biggest weakness, its defense. At the 2018 World Cup, Argentina's defense was a disaster. They conceded 9 goals in 4 games, their worst defensive record in the tournament's history. No champion can survive with a defense that fragile. Scaloni knew that before Argentina could dream of winning again, they had to stop leaking goals. His first objective was to revamp the backline. Christian Romero was introduced as a dominant centre-back, adding aggression and aerial strength. Emiliano Martínez brought composure and ball-playing ability, and Nahuel Molina provided width, offering both defensive cover and attacking threat. Scaloni didn't just want defense, he wanted a wall, disciplined, aggressive, and impossible to break. Then he moved to midfield revolution. Argentina's midfield had been passive for too long. Scaloni changed that. He built a midfield that was aggressive, hardworking, and impossible to dominate. Rodrigo de Paul became the heart of the team, covering every blade of grass, pressing relentlessly, and protecting Messi at all costs. Leandro Paredes controlled the tempo, shielding the defense and dictating play. Later, Enzo Fernandez brought a perfect mix of energy, technical skill, and defensive intelligence. Then the biggest job of all, find the role of Lionel Messi. For years, Messi had carried Argentina on his shoulders. He dropped deep, created chances, and finished them. But Scaloni changed everything. Instead of being only known as the Messi team, he built a team that allowed him to shine in the final third. He gave him a system that played to his strengths rather than relying on him to do it all. Scaloni made a ruthless call. Aging players like Higuain, Paniga, and Mercado were moved aside. A new era was beginning. He gave young players a chance, bringing in Julian Alvarez, Enzo Fernandez, and Christian Romero, players who would form the spine of the new Argentina. He created a winning culture where team spirit was more important than individual egos. Scaloni did not just change tactics, he changed Argentina's mentality. For the first time in years, they played like a team. They defended together, they fought for each other, they believed, and in just 3 years, the temporary coach would do something no manager had done in nearly 3 decades. He would bring Argentina back to glory. By 2021, Argentina was no longer a broken team. Scaloni had built something special, a squad that was no longer fragile, no longer Messi dependent, a team that played with structure, discipline, and belief. The results spoke for themselves. Under Scaloni, Argentina had gone 19 games unbeaten before the start of the Copa America, their longest unbeaten run in over a decade. They had become a team that was difficult to beat, one that no longer crumbled under pressure. But despite all the progress, one thing was still missing: a trophy. For 28 years, Argentina had watched other nations lift silverware. They had endured heartbreak after heartbreak, final after final. Now, in the Copa America, they had a chance to rewrite history. But to do that, they had to go through their greatest rivals in the most intimidating stadium in world football, the Maracanã. Argentina entered the tournament with confidence, and it showed. This was not the same team that had collapsed in previous years. They were fearless, and they were ready. In the quarterfinal against Ecuador, they sent a clear message: a dominant 3-0 victory. Messi was at his best, delivering 2 assists and scoring a goal, controlling the game like a true leader. The semi-final against Colombia was a battle. Argentina controlled progression but struggled to break through. The match went to penalties, and then, in the most crucial moment, a hero emerged. Emiliano Martínez stepped up, saving 3 penalties in one of the greatest shootout performances in Argentina's history. His confidence, his words to the Colombian players, his ability to deliver under pressure. This was the moment Argentina found their goalkeeper for the future. Then came the final: Argentina against Brazil, Neymar against Messi. A Maracanã filled with Brazilian fans, waiting to see their team lift the trophy on home soil. But Scaloni had prepared his players for this. Argentina did not need to dominate the ball, they needed to control the game. They frustrated Brazil, suffocated their attacks, and waited for their moment. And when that moment came, it was Angel Di Maria who delivered. Di Maria, a player often overlooked, a player who had missed the 2014 World Cup due to injury, found himself in the perfect position. One touch, one brilliant lob of the goalkeeper. The ball floated into the net. Argentina led 1-0. The final whistle blew. Argentina were champions. Messi collapsed to the ground, overcome with emotion. His teammates lifted him onto their shoulders. The drought was over. 28 years of suffering erased in 90 minutes. Argentina had done it. Messi had finally done it. But their journey was far from over. Conquering South America was not enough. There was still a question left unanswered. Could this team dominate against Europe's best? In June 2022, Argentina faced the reigning European champions, Italy, in La Finalissima. A chance to prove their dominance. A chance to show that Argentina was no longer just contenders. They were the best in the world. From the first whistle, it was clear this was not just a game, it was a statement. Argentina dismantled Italy. They outplayed them in every aspect. Italy, a team known for its defensive solidity, had no answer to Scaloni's relentless attacking system. Argentina controlled the ball, dictated the tempo, and suffocated their opponents. 1 goal, then 2, then 3. A 3-0 masterclass. A dominant performance against one of the best teams in the world. The message was clear. Argentina was ready for the biggest stage. Copa America was redemption. La Finalissima was a statement. But there was one prize left. The one Argentina had been chasing for decades. The one Messi had dreamed of since he was a child. The World Cup. The final step in Argentina's return to greatness. Argentina entered the 2022 World Cup as one of the most dominant teams in world football. A 36-game unbeaten streak, their longest in history. A Copa America title, a La Finalissima victory over Europe's best. Scaloni had built a team that looked unstoppable. But football has a way of reminding even the greatest teams that nothing is guaranteed. The tournament started with a nightmare. In their opening match, Argentina faced Saudi Arabia. They took the lead early through a Messi penalty. It looked like another routine win, but in the second half, everything unraveled. 2 Saudi Arabian goals in 5 minutes turned the game upside down. Argentina couldn't respond. The final whistle blew. Saudi Arabia 2, Argentina 1. The unbeaten streak was over. Argentina had been humiliated, losing against the 51st ranked team in the world. For the first time, doubts resurfaced. Had Scaloni built a great team, or had Argentina just been lucky? Was this another golden generation doomed to fail on the biggest stage? Scaloni had no time for doubts. He had to react, and fast. Argentina could have crumbled. They had before, but not this time. Scaloni immediately made bold changes. He dropped struggling players. He introduced fresh energy, young stars like Enzo Fernandez and Julian Alvarez. He shifted from his usual 4-3-3 to a more compact 4-4-2, making Argentina more structured and defensively solid. And from that moment, Argentina was transformed. Against Mexico, they responded. Messi delivered magic with a stunning strike. Argentina won 2-0. Confidence was back. Against the Netherlands, they played their best football of the tournament. They led 2-0. They were in control. But in the final minutes, they collapsed again. 2 late Dutch goals sent the game into extra time. It was a test of character, but Argentina refused to let history repeat itself. In the penalty shootout, Emiliano Martínez became a giant, saving 2 penalties. Argentina advanced. In the semi-finals against Croatia, Scaloni made another adjustment. He switched to a 3-5-2, overloading the midfield and cutting off Croatia's control. It worked to perfection. Messi produced one of the best assists of his career, dancing past defenders to set up Alvarez. Argentina won 3-0. They were back in the World Cup final. And then came the greatest final in World Cup history. Argentina stormed ahead against France, leading 2-0 with 10 minutes to go. They were cruising. But then, Kylian Mbappe woke up in the second half. A penalty. A stunning volley. In 97 seconds, Argentina's dream was slipping away. Extra time, Messi put Argentina back in front, but with minutes left, Mbappe completed his hat-trick. Another penalty. 3-3. Penalties, again, but this time was a different Argentina. They were ready for this moment. Messi converted. Dybala scored. Montiel stepped up and buried the final penalty. Argentina were the world champions. For the first time since Maradona, for the first time in Messi's career, Scaloni had done it. From a no-name manager to a World Cup winning coach, Argentina had completed their great redemption story, but their reign was not over yet. World champions, but could they stay on top? Many teams win a World Cup and then fade. Argentina wanted more. They wanted to prove that 2022 was not a one-time triumph. They wanted to build a dynasty. At the 2024 Copa America, they did exactly that. They were dominant. They controlled games. They suffocated opponents. Even when Messi suffered an injury in the final, Argentina showed why they were more than just one player. They controlled 60% possession. They fought through extra time. And Lautaro Martinez stepped up, scoring the winning goal. Back-to-back Copa America titles. Argentina had done something they hadn't achieved since 1947. They weren't just champions, they were the best team in world football. And they weren't slowing down. Scaloni took Argentina from despair to dominance, from World Cup heartbreak to Copa America glory, from a team lost in chaos to a machine built for winning. 3 major trophies in 3 years. A new golden era, but as long as Scaloni is at the helm, Argentina's story is far from over. Winning one trophy requires talent. Winning multiple trophies requires something more: adaptability, intelligence, and leadership. Lionel Scaloni was not just a coach, He was a strategist who knew when to change and when to trust his players. Unlike many modern coaches who impose a rigid philosophy, Scaloni was pragmatic. He did not force a single style of play onto his team and expect them to fit into it. He built his system around his players, not the other way around. He understood that football is about adapting, maximizing strength, and finding the right solutions for every challenge. Scaloni's Argentina had an identity, but they were never one-dimensional. He adapted to every challenge, proving his tactical intelligence on the biggest stages. In the 2021 Copa America final against Brazil, he shifted to a 4-4-2, strengthening the midfield to take control of possession and frustrate the Brazilians. Argentina won their first trophy in 28 years. In the 2022 World Cup quarterfinal against the Netherlands, when Louis van Gaal's team started launching long balls, Scaloni responded. He switched to a 5-3-2 mid-game, giving Argentina more defensive cover. They held on and won on penalties. Scaloni never forced Argentina into one way of playing. He adjusted based on the opponent, the situation, and most importantly, his players, instead of trying to mold them into a rigid system. He built a structure that allowed them to shine. That was the difference. Argentina's success was never about just one man. Lionel Messi was their leader, but Scaloni ensured he was never alone. Angel Di Maria delivered when it mattered most, scoring in the Copa America final, in La Finalissima, and again in the World Cup final with an unforgettable goal against France. At the back, Emiliano Martínez became the ultimate match winner. His penalty saves against the Netherlands and France turned the World Cup in Argentina's favor. His confidence, his leadership, and his mind games in shootouts became legendary. Enzo Fernandez, the younger player of the tournament in Qatar 2022, brought energy and technical skill, proving himself as a future world-class midfielder. But beyond the tactics and individual performances, Scaloni created something just as important: a team-first mentality. Argentina became a squad where every player understood their role, where egos were set aside for the greater goal. The atmosphere in the camp was different from past Argentina teams. It was not just about winning, it was about fighting together, celebrating together, and building a lasting brotherhood. This was not a team built on individual brilliance alone. It was a collective force. Scaloni ensured every player knew their role. He built a family, not just a squad. Argentina was no longer divided by egos. Every player had a job, and every player delivered. Even Sergio Aguero, who was forced to retire before the World Cup due to heart issues, remained part of the squad. He was there in the dressing room, encouraging his teammates, lifting their spirits, and when Argentina finally lifted the trophy, he was right there with them, celebrating as if he had played every minute. For years, Argentina chased glory and endured heartbreak. But with Scaloni, they didn't just win, they built a new legacy. 3 trophies, a World Cup, a team unified like never before, and now they stand at the top of world football, ready to defend their throne. This is Argentina's golden era, and it's far from over.